How we doing, guys?
What impressed you the most about either the approach or the performance that your team had last night?
I thought our guys did a really good job in their preparation all week long. Really focused, dialed in, good energy, locked in on each day, and I thought we played that way. Important for us to start fast in the game. That happened. Defense started off with the takeaways. Offense did a really good job cashing it in. Did it again. I thought that was important for us. But then you look up and, you're still not even halfway through the first quarter. So there was so much football to be played. I thought our guys just did a good job just locking in, staying focused, maintaining their intensity. Very few lapses in the game. And, time and time again, just played through some good stuff and played through some adversity and played for 60 minutes in all three phases.
Jason, this morning on the radio, you were talking about that how when you get in a situation when you have a big lead and you're trying to manage the clock, did you have to say anything to your coordinators or anything about, hey, listen, let's think about this or let's think about that when, you want to keep your rhythm and stuff, but did you have to remind them about how you're going to try and manage that game?
Yeah, we're constantly talking about that kind of stuff, and obviously those guys are pretty aware about how we want to play. You want to maintain your aggressiveness in all phases of your team, but at the same time, when you get to a certain point, you have to manage the game to victory. And I thought we did a good job of that. Some of it's logistical. As an offense, you want to make sure you break the huddle a little bit later. You're snapping the ball as close to zero as you can. But the thing you have to be careful of is you're not playing against the clock. You're playing against the defense. And you got to make sure you stay aggressive and maintain your rhythm. And so there are ways that you try to do that. And the same thing on defense. You don't want to give them anything easy. But at the same time, you want to be an aggressive team. You want to be an aggressive front. You want to guard them. You want to have confidence in your guys to make the plays. And really the same thing applies to special teams. So you want to maintain that aggressive downhill demeanor, but at the same time manage what the situation is.
How does it alter your approach? Because, again, this was, I think, the first time since the third quarter of the Saints game that you were actually playing with a lead. How does that impact how you view the game and how it proceeds?
Again, you don't try to focus too much on the scoreboard. It's an old expression in football. Don't look at the scoreboard, just play the play. And I think that's the philosophy you want to have in and around what we were just talking about. Sometimes you have to manage a situation. You're behind, you're ahead, and you have to understand where you are in the context of the game. But for the most part, you want to snap the ball and execute ball plays independent of what the score is. That's how you want to play, that kind of demeanor, that kind of approach. And then, logistically, you handle it beyond that.
A season that has some wild swings of momentum like this one has had, is that any tougher mentally on the players to kind of navigate?
Yeah, I just think as an overall approach, what we try to instill in our guys is to focus on us, focus on today, and focus on the task at hand. It's something they hear me talk about, they hear their coaches talk about on a daily basis, and something we try to live. And the teams that are most successful, the players and coaches that are most successful are the ones that are able to do that. You put the last thing behind you, whether it's a play, a series, a game, a day, whatever it is, put it behind you and focus on what you're doing right now to be your best.
Guys got into it at the kickoff, then Dak got into it with Jenkins. Did you notice you guys had a little bit more of an edge going into this game?
Not necessarily. I like to think we always play with an edge. Sometimes those things happen in division games where, guys know each other and, those little skirmishes come up before the game or throughout the game. And again, it's the same message. Put that stuff behind you. Don't get focused on that. Focus on what we need to do to play our best football.
How did Hyder play, not just in the second half for Quinn, but it looks like in the first half it was more inside?
Did a really good job. He's a good football player. He's done whatever we've asked him to do. He plays different spots. He plays well against the run. He affects the quarterback, had an opportunity to recover a fumble, took advantage of it, and just does a lot of positive things for your football team.
I believe he visited you guys before the draft when he came out. Was he hurt at that point? Do you remember? Did he have like a knee or something? And what did you guys...
Honestly, I can't remember the specifics of that, but I remember having him in and really liking him. We all liked him a lot, liked him as a guy, and felt like he was our kind of player, the right kind of guy for our team. And so when you feel that way about a guy, you kind of follow his career from afar, and we're excited to bring him back. He's done a good job for us.
What did you do anything differently to spark this effort, or was it just a matter of just your keys and fundamentals and stuff like that? What was deep for your defense this time?
Defense just did a really good job. We needed to play better. I thought we did a better job in the game. The signature plays in the game were the takeaways. Did a really good job. Jalen made a big hit on that first one, and then we got guys running to the ball. Everybody's sprinting to the ball, so when the ball comes out, you can take advantage of it. And we're around the quarterback. D-Law makes a big hit. There he is, Antoine Woods, in the middle of the pile, getting the ball, and on and on and on. So, those were the big plays. Those are the momentum-changing plays in the game. Offense did a good job cashing them in to make sure that there was an impact on the game. And I think those plays fed on themselves, and it became contagious throughout our team. But, at the end of the day, you have to play sound fundamental defense. You have to be physical. I thought we did a good job of that, and I thought we tackled well in the game against a good team with a lot of playmakers.
After a game like that, Zeke said you guys needed that game and need to build off of that. You want to continue playing, or is it to play at a good time? I mean, you want to build off this game right now, or you just glad to have time?
Yeah, it is what it is. The result of that game is not going to change what our schedule is as we go forward. So we know we have a bye, and we take advantage of it. We have some guys that did a really good job coming back and playing in the game. So it'll be good for them to kind of heal up a little bit. And got a couple other guys who got nicked up in the game. They'll heal up. Everybody will get a chance to get refreshed, recharged, and get ready to go again.
Those guys coming back and playing hurt and playing through their injuries inspired the rest of the team. He thought that it gave you guys a lift. Do you agree? And how big was that last night for what you had?
I just think they're inspirational guys. We have a lot of inspirational guys on our team, and a lot of guys who play through things every week, and they're just pros. And they scratch, claw, and fight for us. And for those guys all to get themselves back in a position to play through the injuries they've been dealing with, I thought was important for our team. And they've been really good players for us. And to have them out there play after play after play, making the impact that they had, I thought was big for our team.
What's the latest with Leighton and Robert?
Yeah, we'll see on both those guys. We think the reports are good for them to both have speedy recoveries. Don't anticipate them doing a lot this week, but hopefully they'll be ready to go next week.
Dak said in the run-up to that game, there was no panic, no worrying about changing how you guys go about doing things. He said you guys doubled down on who you are. How'd you make sure that occurred and that took place?
Oh, I just think that's an important thing. You believe in who you are. You believe in how you do things. And you just make sure you do it. And you're the best versions of yourself, individually and collectively. We talk about that as coaches, as players, as units, and ultimately as a football team. And what that looks like. You remind the guys what it looks like. This is who we are. We didn't go to some sound stage in Hollywood and create these plays. This is you guys on tape doing things at a high level. Let's do that. Let's do that on a consistent basis. Let's do it again and again and again in everything we do. That's who we are. That's what we're capable of doing.
And when you've lost 3 games in a row, do you do a little bit more of that during the week, sort of remind them, or do you just try to approach it the same way you approach it any week?
Yeah, I'd like to think that the way we approach it every week is providing some kind of inspiration and motivation for our team. That's part of our jobs as coaches. Coaches coaching an individual position group, a unit, or coaching the whole football team. So that's something we take pride in, to try to get our guys' minds right, their mentality right, to play their best football.
And was also saying, while we feel good about how the team responded, he also mentioned how we shouldn't have to continually put ourselves in these positions as often as we do to respond with this sort of game. 1, do you agree with that statement? And 2, is that just a matter of maturity and maybe evening things out a little bit as far as consistency of performance for a team?
It's the National Football League. And the guy across from you is a really good football player every single week. The unit across from you typically is pretty darn good, and the team across from you is pretty darn good, filled with really good players and really good coaches. That's what makes the league great. So, very few teams will go through their schedule and win every ball game. It doesn't happen, hasn't happened very much in the history of this league. So, it's part of our game. You're going to have to deal with adversity. Play after play after play, series after series, game after game. And so the teams that deal with that the best and grow from the experiences are the ones that are going to keep playing. So these are all experiences that we have, and you have to continue to respond the right way.
Was it particularly gratifying knowing that the Eagles have such a good front seven and they came in ranked second against the run, and you guys were still able to be your run-first best selves?
Well, again, we have great respect for them. They're a great football team, and that front's outstanding. It's been outstanding for a long time, and so it's a fight, it's a challenge, it's a battle every time the ball is snapped. Ask the guys trying to block those guys. Ask the guy running with the football. So we respect that, we understand that, and I thought our guys responded well throughout. And again, I thought the consistency of the intensity and the focus throughout the ball game, after the good start, to keep playing and keep striving to play at a high level was important for us.
Jordan Lewis sacked Wentz on the swap blitz. Can you talk about his impact in the game and what you've seen from him this season?
Yeah, Jordan does a great job with every opportunity he gets, and he's made a lot of plays on the ball for us. He's made those sacks on quarterbacks on those slot blitzes before, and he just has a knack for making plays. He's got a great competitive spirit. He's got a great relentless way about him, and really well respected on our team, and continues to take advantage of the opportunities that he gets.
Against the Jets, there was a similar slot blitz, and it looked like he paused for a brief second. This one, it didn't look like there was any pause. Was that, do you remember what I'm getting at? And was that any kind of coaching point for him going into that game?
I can't speak to that play specifically. Sometimes guys will come out at you, tackles will fan, or backs will come over that might cause you to pause and maybe feel like you need to make a move, and sometimes you have opportunities to hit them clean. I can't speak to the specific play you're talking about, but the one last night he did a really good job on.
What did you like out of Pollard and Zeke together last night?
We like both those guys. Obviously, Zeke has been a big-time player for us for a few years now, and I thought he played a really complete game. Ran the ball really well inside, ran it well outside, made a lot of dirty runs in the game, did a good job catching the football, good job blocking. He's just a really good player. And to see him finishing forward on a consistent basis, you talk about things that are inspirational, that inspires our team. See a guy like that scratching and clawing and doing all the dirty work for us. And then Pollard came in and took advantage of his chances. Did a good job running inside. A couple of the plays weren't blocked as well as we would have wanted to, and he bounced the play and kept him alive and made positive yards. So he's growing every week, and he's got a chance to be a good player for us.
On the field together, I think it was like 5 or 6 plays. What did you like out of that when you had them on the field together?
Yeah, again, just a different way to use our personnel. We try to use a lot of different guys, try to attack the defense a lot of different ways by using different personnel groups, and we did that again throughout the ball game. And then when you use different players within each of those personnel groups, I think that can be effective as well. So you want to get your best guys out there, but again, you want to attack different ways.
It's kind of a joke among fans and media that, Maher seems to struggle when it's a closer range kick, but when it's these long, booming kicks, he's very consistent. But is there a legit coaching point in that, whatever you're doing on these 60-plus yard field goals, try it on the shorter range ones?
There might be. I think you want to have the same kind of approach on all your kicks. He's got a really strong leg, and I think he's the only kicker in the history of the National Football League. He's kicked 3 60-plus yard field goals, so I think that's a pretty impressive feat. He's pretty confident in those situations. It was interesting. We got the ball to the 45-yard line. Thought that was a really good drive. Dak made some good decisions. Witt did a good job getting out of bounds and kind of maximizing the yardage. But you look up, it's 4 seconds on the clock. We're on the 45. You do the math, it's 63, and I'm like, and I look down there, and those guys are all going out on the field. Like, okay, all right, we'll give you guys a shot at it. So the idea is they have confidence in doing something like that. They've done it before. And, at first glance, you say, well, it's your stadium. He's indoors making those kicks. He made one from 62 last week, right, in the weather, in the outdoors up in New York. So he's done a really good job. The couple of the misses he's had this year were 50-plus, so it's not like they were easy kicks. So he's been a good kicker for us before. He'll be a good kicker for us as we go forward. We believe in him a lot.
DeMarcus Lawrence is a guy who's kind of unafraid to say what's on his mind privately, publicly. Do teams need that kind of guy to kind of be a little brash and outspoken a little bit?
I don't know.
How do you think your players respond to him and how he is?
I don't know what he says, to be honest with you, unless somebody brings it to my attention. So
last year against the Saints, he said, I don't want to cuss on this thing because everybody's...
Choke them out. 12 minute cuss word.
Yeah.
Choke them out.
Team responded. This last week, he responded to Peterson's comments by saying he just needs to shut up. He comes out and has a big game. Is that his way? Is he kind of like that?
Yeah, again, sometimes you don't want to necessarily stifle guys from that, but the biggest thing is you practice hard and you go play and you play well. And that's really what we focus on, and so we don't really pay much attention to the other stuff.
Have you found that the best teams, by and large, though, have a collection of different sort of personalities and all are accepted, and you have some guys who are more fiery publicly, other guys who just quietly go about their business, and that whole chemistry thing you can never really explain?
Yeah, I find the best teams are the ones that focus on what they're supposed to do, and they practice well, and they go play well. A lot of teams have different personalities. I think that's a good thing. Again, you don't want to stifle personalities. You want to bring that out. You want to see and feel players' personalities. I think that's a good thing. That's the way most teams are, and you never want to kind of put the wraps on anybody to prevent them from being who they are. But the best teams are the ones prepare the right way and go play the right way.
What's the value you guys get by having a guy like Heath that plays almost all the snaps on defense and the core special teamer?
Just a really good player, and you said it. He plays a ton of snaps on defense, and he can play a number of different things on special teams, and he's really good at all of them. And he too he prepares the right way and plays the right way. And the more guys you have like that on your team, the better your team's going to be.
As you entered the bye, I'm sure there might have been some uncertainty. I mean, you got Witten back about what you would get. So, what have you seen in Jason as you entered the bye week?
Yeah, Witt's done a great job. There wasn't a whole lot of uncertainty from us, because we know him, we've been around him so much, and he was in great shape at the start and had a really good off season. So we just felt like he could come back in and play, and he's played at a very high level. He's played a tick fewer snaps than he played, a couple of years ago, but still he's playing a lot of snaps every game, 50, 60 snaps, and handling the work really well. Very good run blocker, made some big plays in the passing game yesterday, has done that consistently throughout the year. Great example to the young tight ends and really to everybody else on our football team. So he's the same Witten we've known for a long time.
Mark Cooper's now played 16 regular season games with the Cowboys since the trade last year. I know you thought a lot of you would have traded for him, but has he been better than expected? Do you see this type of impact for him?
Well, we thought he was a great player. We thought he was a great player coming out of school and had success in Oakland. Was a Pro Bowl player there. The thing that's probably impressed me the most is just the kind of guy he is. Had heard really good things from Coach Saban and everyone else who had been around him about what kind of person he is. But he's a real pro, and he wants to be a great player. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he just goes about his work the right way. And he wants to be an elite receiver. He wants to have a big impact for our team, and constantly working on his craft, constantly trying to get better as an individual player, help make our team better. I think his transition last year was really smooth. The connection that he and Dak developed, our ability to move him all over formations and really do whatever we want with him was really, really impressive. And he's getting better and better every week.
When he works on his craft, how is that filtered down to like Gallup and some of the other receivers you have in your team?
I just think it's a really positive example to everybody. And we have a number of guys who are like that, the leaders. And, we're talking about, different personalities. The best teams have guys like that, guys who come to work every day, and football is important to them, and they work hard at the details of the game. And when you have a number of guys at different positions doing that, it's going to have a very positive trickle-down effect to everybody else on your team.
We were asking a lot in training camp about how good Malik Collins and Xavier Woods both looked in camp. Can you talk about the games both of them had yesterday?
Yeah, Malik did an excellent job in the game. Very active, both as a run defender and affecting the quarterback. His quickness and acceleration off the ball has been outstanding. He's around the ball a lot. And, those guys up front are doing a really good job helping each other make plays. He's pushing the pocket inside. The guys coming on the edges, collapsing the pocket. They're really working well together. He's playing with a relentless spirit. He's nonstop every play. So he's played very well up to this point this year. He's a good player. Xavier Woods made a big play in the game, the interception. But he, too, was around the ball a lot in the running game. And he's just playing better and better the more he plays.
I think Sean played more snaps last night than he played in any game since the opener last year. How did he come out of that game? How did he produce?
Yeah, he played well. I thought he tackled really well in space. They have a couple good running backs who they've gotten the ball to on routes. out in space a lot, and they've had a lot of success running with the ball after the catch. And Sean was a really sound tackler in those situations. Again, showed up in the running game, effective in the passing game, and tackled well throughout. So it was good to see him out there making plays.
Thank you.
All right, good to see you guys.
Yes, Coach.